What's up guys, I'm Leonard and welcome back to my channel, and in this video I'll be showing you guys my DC Comics collection, which include heroes like Batman, Superman, and a few others. So, as always, let's get into it. Okay guys, so here's a stack for all of them right here. This right here is Superman in the 70s. This is basically like a greatest hits type thing for comics for Superman in the 70s. It's got a bunch of issues in here, kind of like a paperback, basically. I've read that one. That one was pretty good. Here is The Adventures of Superman, issue number 11. This is when Superman comes back from the dead right after the Doomsday storyline, Death of Superman storyline. Here is The Reign of Superman, issue 12. Superman Action Comics, issue 687. There. Actually, I haven't read these, but one day, since I have all 4 of them. Here is Reign of Superman, Man of Steel, issue 13. And that one is issue 22. Here's Reign of Superman, issue 14. Superman right here is issue 78. Here's Reign of Superman, issue 15, The Adventures of Superman, issue 501 right here. I believe all these were crossover. It's kind of like a crossover of Maximum Carnage, which spawned throughout 14 issues in the Spider-Man comic series. Included comic series like Amazing Spider-Man, Web of Spider-Man, Spider-Man Unlimited, and the Spectacular Spider-Man and the Sensational Spider-Man, if I remember correctly. Anyway, moving on. Here is Superman, the Man of Steel, issue 30 right here. Actually, I haven't read this one. This one actually has a pretty cool cover. There's actually stickers right here, and I'll show you guys the back. It's pretty cool. I actually haven't read this one yet. Maybe I will one day because it has Lobo in it. Here is Secrets of Superman's Costume, Superman, Man of Tomorrow. This came in with the action figure I got like 2005-ish, I think. I don't remember what action figure it was though. I haven't read that one yet. Here is Superman Action Comics, Shame of Smallville, issue 791 for Action Comics right there. Actually, I haven't read that one yet. Some of these actually I haven't really read, or I haven't read at all. Here is Superboy, issue 22, Underworld Unleashed. Actually, I read that one. That one was kind of interesting. Here is Batman, issue 364. I've read this one. This one was pretty cool. Here is Batman vs. Predator, issue number 1 out of 3. I only have the first issue, I don't have the other ones, but I read this one. This one was surprisingly really good. This was actually before I knew who Predator was. So I got this like a long time ago, before I even knew who the Predator was. This right here, this is one of my favorite comics right here. This is a paperback of Batman The Dark Knight Returns. It's got all 4 or 5 issues in there. I forgot how many issues were in there, but I'll take this out so I can show you guys the cover real quick. That's what the art looks like for one right here, issue 1, issue 2. Cover art for issue 3. Here's the cover art for issue 4. Remember a few years ago, I actually saw the Dark Knight Returns movie. I got the deluxe edition. I'll show you guys that one day in the video. But I got that and I watched that whole movie and I absolutely loved that movie. It was very interesting. It was very different from anything I've ever seen, which is pretty cool. And a few years after that, I actually got this and I read it. Of course, I already knew what was gonna happen because of the movie, but I remember when I was still in high school, my senior year, last year, I read this. It took about 3.5 something hours to read, but it was worth it. It was a really cool story. And it was just really cool. And I remember when I saw Batman v Superman, I was just blown away on how Ben Affleck was, since his Batman is basically the Dark Knight Returns Batman. But for some reason, I heard that the director for the new Batman movie called The Batman, or whatever it's going to be called, wants to get someone named Jake Gyllenhaal. I think that's his name, Gyllenhaal. I don't know how to say his last name, but he wants to get that guy to play Batman. I don't know. Me personally, I think that if Affleck isn't going to be Batman anymore, they should get him out of the DCU and do it right somehow. That's just me. But anyway, moving on. Here is paperback for Batman: The Dark Knight Strikes Again. This is basically part 2 of The Dark Knight Returns. Actually, I haven't read this one yet. I got this last year in December, but I actually haven't read it yet. I'm planning to read it in a few months here, but let me take this out real quick for you guys. Okay guys, so here's the cover for book 1 right here. Here's the cover for book 2 right here. And here's the cover for book 3 right here. Here is Batman: The Killing Joke. Right here. I actually got this, I think, a few years ago. I think it was last year when Killing Joke animated movie came out. So I got this the same time I got the movie. And I actually got the movie right before I got the book. So I read this first, and then I watched the movie the next day. And I thought it would be different from what it was. I heard it was good, but I thought it would have been different. I mean, the book and the movie itself, to me, I thought they were okay. That's just me. I mean, me personally, I like The Dark Knight Returns better, but it was something different. But I liked how Kevin Conroy voiced Batman and Mark Hamill voiced the Joker in that movie. That just made it a lot better than what it was. Anyway, moving on. So, here is Robin Year 1 right here. I actually have read this one. This one was pretty good. I read it a few years ago. I don't really remember happened in it, but that one was really good. I love that one. This one right here, this is one of the first Batman comics I got. I got this a long time ago when I was little, but I actually tore it up, and then I found this a few years later when I was like maybe 8 or something like that, and I got it again, so I was very happy to get that. So here's the Batman Adventures, The Lost Years right here. I've read this like maybe 3 times and absolutely love this. Obviously, it's based on the animated series, and it was just pretty cool to have because I actually wanted to know the origin of Nightwing, how he trained later. Of course, I saw how Tim Drake came into the picture in the animated series, and I'm background with it too. I just didn't know the story of Nightwing yet. They explained it in here in book 3. I'll take it out for you guys so you guys can see the covers. So here is book 1 right here. Here's the cover. Here is book 2 right here. Cover for it. Here is book 3 right here. One where Dick Grayson trains again and then he becomes Nightwing. Basically explains where he goes after he leaves Gotham and leaves Bruce. Here is the cover for book 4 right here. There's Tim Drake looking at the Robin suit. Here is the cover for book 5 right here, and this is one of my favorite pictures of all 4 of them right here. This is pretty cool. So, that's all the covers for this one right here. I really enjoyed reading this one over and over again. That one's just really cool because I always wanted to know what happened to Dick Grayson after he left Bruce and became Nightwing. So that basically told me right there. Anyway, moving on. Here is Batman Beyond issue number 2 right here. Here, this is actually based on the cartoon too. I recently got this like a few months ago. I only have issue number 2 out of 6, so I hope I get the other ones soon. So this is basically Rebirth Part 2 of the cartoon. That's basically what it is. So that's pretty cool. Here is Robin 3 Cry of the Huntress Part 4 of 6 of the miniseries. Yeah, this is part 4. I used to have another one of these parts, but I don't know what happened to them anyway. Actually, I haven't read this because I'm really curious to read the other ones first, so I might get the other ones first and then read all 6 of them. Here is All-Star Squadron issue number 27 right here. I think I have read this, but I don't really remember it that well. I know it had the Justice Society in there, but that is pretty interesting. Seeing the Spectre fight Dr. Fate, that's pretty interesting. Here is the last CC comic I have right here. This is the Ron Thanagar War, issue number 2 out of 6. I actually haven't read this one, but I think maybe one day I'll get the other parts to it and I will read it. That's all for this video, guys. Make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video. Later, guys.